We're with head women's basketball coach Denise Bierly. Coach Bierly getting ready for her 21st season. The Warriors opening up this weekend in the annual tip-off tournament. Denise, you guys have been practicing, closing in on the start of the season. How have things gone so far?
Things went well. We had 2 scrimmages, and I thought the scrimmages went well. I think this could be one of our deeper teams that I've had here at Eastern, with the number of returners that we have coming back. And then with getting a couple kids back from injury that were out most of the season last year, that's been a huge plus for our team. And I think that, we'll be ready for this weekend. It's been the shortest preseason we've had. Because we're playing on November 15th, the first day you're allowed to play. Normally we're playing around the 20th, and there's an extra, usually 5 or 6 days in there. But I think that, the teams, this is a good year to have a lot of returners or juniors and seniors. And I think, we'll be ready for this weekend.
Well, because of circumstances that happened a few years ago, you had 3 of your seniors have basically been starters or key contributors since day one, right, since their freshman year. Talk about their development and how key they are to this year.
Yeah, I think that they, and their roles have had to change. I think, they went from maybe freshman, sophomore year where we didn't have the numbers on the team, that they started and played 40 minutes a game sometimes, and now their roles as seniors are maybe coming off the bench and sparking us and using their skills in other ways. So to have kids be open to that and accept their role and realize that it's better for the team is huge. And that's where I just think we have really good kids. And the senior class, if there's ever been a senior class that all my senior classes I want to have a good season, but if there's ever a senior class, it's this one. They've just been through a lot in their 4 years, and to go from 8 wins their freshman year and now, have an opportunity to have a good season in front of them. But those, Shannon, Christina, Taylor, they're going to play a big part of how the season goes and their leadership and their performance on the court. And, they've looked good like I said, in the preseason, especially Christina and Shannon coming off injuries. But they seem ready, and I think they understand their roles and what's expected of them and what they need to do. We play a brutal schedule, and they're going to have to be ready every night.
Was it very rewarding for you last year? You had a couple of tough years based on what had happened before. Was it really rewarding to get back into that 18-19 win mode last year, or was it unexpected to do it that quick?
I don't think it was unexpected. I think that we always expect to do well, and I think we have a group of kids that expect to do well. I think they're high academic kids, they're high athletic kids, and I think that they expect that. And I think in some ways, I think in the end, at the very end, when the last game is played, you're disappointed, because you're like, I think we felt like we were really close with our strength of schedule and the way the at-large bids work these days, that if we could have gotten a couple more wins that were pretty much within our reach, we might have gotten at-large. You get to that 20-win plateau and that type of thing. So I think in the end it was disappointing, but then when you look back, over the summer, you kind of are like, the progression is there. We're progressing, and that's really what everything was about, is to get recruits in and keep progressing, and we did that, and hopefully we put ourselves in a position this year to keep progressing forward, and that's our goal.
Well, your real tough schedule came early. You played Hartwick, Amherst, Williams.
Yep.
You lost to them. You could have replaced them and easily won 2 out of those 3, and then you get to 20 wins.
Right.
But that necessarily isn't going to help you come.
No, because we were regionally ranked all 3 weeks, and we had those losses, but our strength of schedule was so high that we had some other quality wins that that's why we got regionally ranked all 3 weeks. And I had made up my mind a long time ago that I wasn't gonna, because I think that's happened to me sometimes, where you want to change the schedule because you think you can't be competitive, but then when now you think you're a more competitive team, then now you call that coach and want to add them. Well, that's just, I don't believe that's the way you do things. So we if you've looked at our schedule over the last 4 years, it's not really deviated. It might have changed, like Williams wasn't on last year, but they're back on this year, but they were there, like, I think 2 years ago, and Bowdoin was in there. Bowdoin was in there. So we've replaced them with teams of a similar caliber, and I just think that your strength of schedule has become such a huge part of postseason nods, and but you can't just put them on there. You got to win some of them, And
Yes.
that's the key. You don't need to win all of them, but you need to win some of them. And then you got to do well within your conference. So, hopefully we've set up the schedule. I mean, it's very tough, but I think the kids, they've seen it, they know it. And I think that's, what they're working towards. And not right now, I mean, they're not focused on down the road. I mean, our first goal is to beat Newberry on Saturday. And the seniors, they did win the tip-off tournament their freshman year. But I don't know how much of a role any of them had in that win. I mean, they weren't playing or getting playing time.
Yeah.
So I said to them the other day at practice, really, none of you in this gym have won a tip-off tournament and contributed. So your focus should be on that. And that's an accomplishment within itself. And it's our tournament, and that's our goal. So, I think that seemed to resonate with them, and hopefully it'll show on the court this weekend.
Well, your team's always been noted for defense and rebounding. Is that going to change at all, or will that be even better this year? Could it be better?
I don't think it'll change. I think, we work on rebounding every day and defensive rebounding. And I actually think so far what I've seen, our offensive rebounding has improved, mainly because I think we have a couple of our guards that are doing better, crashing the boards. So I'm hoping that'll show in games and, getting us, because early in the season, I think offensively every team has its struggles. I think you can't put the ball in the basket, you miss layups, you miss shots, and as the season settles in, hopefully you get more comfortable with your offense and each other. But I think, so offensive rebounding early in the season I think is going to be a key component to winning some games, and I'm encouraged at what I see so far by not just having your two post players rebound. I mean, you're having like that third guard or maybe even the fourth guard or second guard, to get in there. So, hopefully that will show, and defensively we pride ourselves on our player-to-player defense, and that doesn't change in our principles and holding teams to low scoring, and it may not be exciting, but it's effective, and that's what we're looking to, is to win games, and to hold our opponent down and make every pass or every shot difficult is what our goal is and what we're trying to do.
Well, based on what you have coming back, you have virtually your entire cast coming back, other than just a couple of people.
Right.
Based on that, are the expectations for you and for the players themselves really high? Higher than they have been, maybe?
Well, I think, last year they had pretty high expectations. I mean, winning the conference, going to NCAAs, I think they had those goals. We all had those goals. It didn't happen. I think this year they have the same goals, winning the conference, going to NCAAs. But I think, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So you just have to, the cliche is true, take one game at a time, and I just try to focus on, there's a championship on the line this weekend, and that's to win our tip-off tournament. There's a trophy awarded at the end of it, so you want to win that. And I said, playing back-to-back games like that helps you maybe way down the road, but for the conference tournament, that's how it's played. And so, I think they understand that, and but no, their goals are high, and they're very focused on those goals, and I think the key phrase is you have to stay the course. You have to stay with the plan. You have to stay with, things that are working for you. You have to improve in the areas you need to improve on, and take every challenge as it comes your way and accept it, and do the best you can, and that's all you can ask of them.
Well, based on what you have coming back, the development of your veterans from last year and and the addition of your newcomers, is there one area that you are excited about? You think we're going to be a lot better in this area, as far as you can tell? Is there one or two areas?
I would say, like I mentioned, offensive rebounding I think could be better, because I think last year there were times we struggled to score. So if we can get second chance points, that would be great. I think I'm looking for that area to be better. And then the other area is just the depth of the team. I think this could be probably, in my 21 years, the deepest team I've ever had. And that's going to be a shift for me. I mean, as a coach, I've never been known to play, more than 7, 8 kids, and to play 9 or 10 in the first half. I don't know, might be a shock to my system a little bit. I'm just not used to that. It's like I'll be scouting another team or something, because I'm doing my scouting report and they're running kids in and out every time there's a buzzer, and I'm just not used to that. But it's a good problem to have. And I feel that, if someone's not having an off night or an off game, or someone gets in foul trouble, we have a plan B. We have someone to go to. And so I'm very excited about our depth and how that plays out, and, how we use that. and how it helps us win games. So I'm excited to see that. And I feel like in our scrimmages, I try to get, rotate kids in 9 or 10 deep. And, I didn't feel like it really affected the chemistry. And I think that was always my philosophy in the past, that I never wanted to play more than 7 or 8 kids because I felt like it would affect the chemistry. And I feel like because these kids have played together a while. And if you look at our roster of the top, let's say 9 or 10 kids in my mind, at some point last season, they helped us win a basketball game. Either, Danielle Rodriguez in the beginning, Westfield made some key shots, Jordan Nappy, obviously Jill, Christina before she got hurt, Taylor. I mean, there's all the kids that I'm mentioning, and you can go down 8, 9, 10 kids that at some point, Julia DePoy, who didn't really play much the first semester but started at the end of the season, I mean, they helped us win basketball games. And so all of them have some point of reference of being a key component at some part of last season. And I think that experience will help them a lot.
So the Warriors open up on Saturday. They're going to be hosting in the first round Newberry College, and that will be a 1 o'clock start. Denise, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.